Hey gang!
Hello.
We're here again.
Long time no see.
Making another video about, drumroll, Sultan Pasha. So today is, why don't you tell them what's on the menu?
So on the menu today
is something that's really dark, really incensey, shipery, cypress.
Cypre is what she meant to say.
It's what I meant to say. Dark and mysterious, tall, dark, and handsome.
It is Nankun Kodo.
There we go.
So Nankun Kodo is based off of the incense sticks by the same name by Shoyedo. I have never tried them. If they smell like this though, then
they're awesome.
They're awesome. They're 10s out of 10s.
Yeah.
So Nankun Kodo, like Jess said, is a cypre. It's our new term for a perfume. It's a cypre perfume.
A cypre perfume mixed with incense. Just real quick for the people who are watching, we're not talking about the bottle because we've done that a bunch in the previous videos. So
even though the wax on our particular
is bomb.
Nankun Kodo bottle is awesome.
Yes.
Look at that dripping off the side. It made it in full.
But just wanted to let people know, we're not talking about it, look at some older videos, but we're going to start talking about the notes and the fragrance itself. So,
yeah.
Way different than the video we just did.
Yes.
Way different. Also, the weather is different, so it now explains why we're looking for something like this. We went from 60s and sunny to 20s and freezing.
Yep. We're cold.
We're cold. So, perfect time for cold weather is something that's kind of incensey.
Yeah, and this, I mean, this particular perfume pulls together a lot of my favorite things.
Patchouli. You hate patchouli.
Yeah, it's really like woods oriented and resinous. It's based, obviously, as we've already said, kind of around cypress. Mm-hmm. It's got both hinoki and blue cypress in it. It's also got just tons of spices that are kind of coming through that are somewhat like muskier or danker, if that's a right word.
Dank memes.
Spices centered around also like frankincense. So you've got your frankincense, you've got your cypress, and then you've got some bass notes that are doing a lot of underground work to kind of make it all cohesive together, and then you've got a lot of spices that are hanging out on the top.
Yeah, and you definitely, like, it doesn't smell like a chai tea latte by any means, but it's got something like it that when you smell it, it smells like you walked into a house where they're burning a lot of incense and making a lot of chai tea lattes.
A lot of great yeah. I'm not a chai tea latte fan.
No, but like, yeah, it's got that.
It's got a lot of sweeter spices up top. So, I mean, in the top, as far as I'm concerned, you've got like cinnamon for sure. There's also clove. So I think that's doing a lot of the heavy lifting up top. There's also ambrette in the top, but and fenugreek, but no, I think this perfume kind of comes a lot more across as, like I said, kind of just a really heady woodsy and almost like sauna-y.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, if you were in like a 5-star hotel's luxurious sauna.
Yeah.
But it was still like a sauna that was based in
Japan?
nature.
Oh, yeah.
And, well, yeah, Japanese natural sauna that you paid like $70,000 to get into.
Yep. It smelled like this.
It smelled like this.
Yeah, they'd be like dropping it into the water, so when it steams up, it just kind of, it goes crazy.
It kills you. And then you die happy.
That's a happy death. I love it. That's good. Yeah, so I guess that kind of sums it up a lot. It's a lot darker than our last fragrance that we talked about. It is definitely manlier. I could probably wear it, but I think I'd be struggling to feel comfortable being able to pull it off. Unless I'm wearing like all black and carrying a sword or something, then maybe I could pull it off like a ninja.
Carrying a sword.
I also think that this is probably not as versatile as Thebes, which we just did. This is way more, I would say, special occasion.
Yeah, way more statement-y, too.
Yeah, it's not... I think you could wear this to work, but I don't think this would be the place to wear it. You could, but I don't think you should.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree with that. I mean, like, if you were to work, you would command respect.
True.
But it wouldn't, I mean, I would wear this to work because...
your coworkers are used to you wearing weird things to work all the time?
Yeah, well, I mean, I wouldn't call this necessarily even weird.
No, but just, I mean...
For the occasion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it feels more dressed up, and it's odd to say, it is one of those perfumes that is, like, totally natural, totally outdoorsy, yet it does feel, again, like, very, very refined.
Yeah, you need to have, like, a tailored to-you suit to be able to pull this off. Not really, but that's what it feels like, that you need to be wearing, like, a true suit, and...
I mean, it feels like you're a gentleman, a classic...
No, I would say new age. You think classic? I think a classic gentleman would wear this?
Well, because here's the thing that I'm thinking.
Okay.
There's in this guy, a lot of the base notes here is like benzoin, patchouli, sandalwood, oud. It's kind of like, to me, this is kind of like a response to Heritage by Guerlain.
Okay.
In a weird way.
Okay.
In that, like, Guerlain's Heritage is like my go-to overspray, like not doing anything in particular, not really wanting to be feeling any way in particular, but wanting to feel like classic and masculine.
Yeah.
And that's totally what this feels like to me, but now a lot more like blooming with masculinity.
Okay.
So I can see that, like, it's much more modern than Heritage is, and a lot more...
Like, so... For me, when I think of a classic gentleman, and I know this is not the perfect example, right? But pop culture example would be like James Bond, kind of, because he's been around for forever, and thus like kind of a symbol of classic masculinity. James Bond would not wear this.
Yeah, well, if James Bond was Oriental, I think James Bond would wear that.
Which goes into who I think would wear this down the road. We'll get there, but yeah, I don't know. This is obviously, as you see, we're kind of struggling to not necessarily be on the same page, but be on the same page in how to describe this mysterious little wonder.
Yeah, I mean, like Sultan Pasha's other fragrances, again, I'll say it is a paradox. I've said that before with his perfume, and I think it is here a paradox again, because I think, like, I don't know, when I'm thinking about, like, natural, outdoorsy, woodsy perfumes, as long as I'm not thinking something explicitly, like, oud focused, which this has oud in it, but it's not oud focused, I wouldn't call it. So when I'm not thinking of oud fragrances, but all the rest of those things are in my thoughts, I'm thinking of a perfume or a fragrance that you're not necessarily going to be trying to dress up a whole lot. But here I think all of the notes just coincide so perfectly that it is kind of, again, I mean, I'm not saying this is anything like Heritage, because it's not.
No.
Except if you're talking about some notes coincidentally relating.
But that's not what we're going for here.
But, again, it just kind of comes to me to be, like, to be somewhat similar to that, in that, like, I want to wear this when I want to be almost, like, meditating. Like, but meditating with something that is so luxurious, it almost like draws me out of meditation. So it's kind of like this weird interlocking thing where like I smell it draws me to meditation, and then the more I'm in meditation, the more I smell it, and the more I don't want to be like
in meditation.
Yeah. At least like a no-mind meditation. Yeah.
The two forces are competing against each other, yin and yang, continuing with our oriental theme for this fragrance.
And it is like a spicy and sweet thing, too.
Yeah.
Again, you get the sweets, you get the
Oh,
spices.
yeah. The sweet isn't a typical sweet, though. It's just not... it's not... I don't know how to describe it. It's like, I guess cinnamon is the best way to kind of explain it, right? Because cinnamon isn't really sweet, but it's sweet as a spice, but it's spicy.
Yeah.
See? You get it?
With the clove, too.
Yeah.
The clove is there making it kind of, muskier.
Yeah.
In a weird way. So the sweet, it's almost like a burnt sugar thing.
Oh yeah, that's actually a good idea. Good idea. I hope you enjoyed our really concise analysis of the notes of these perfumes. Anything else about this that you'd want to say? I would not blind buy this one if I were you. I do like it. I do enjoy it. This is really awesome. I like the incense. Solid 8.7-ish for me. It's good. But for people who are new to Attars,
it can be a bit heavy.
It would be a bit heavy. And again, it goes back to what I was saying of, I think it's going to be hard to wear a lot. Where, some of the other Pashas we've talked about, some of them are way more versatile. And so that's probably a good way to get you started because you can wear it more and get used to it. Where I think this is going to be very situational and a little bit harder to wear. But when you do wear it, it's going to be bomb. It's going to be knock out of the park awesome.
Yeah, I mean...
Right?
I would agree. And mainstream perfume doesn't set you up for something like this. Because, incense that's used in mainstream perfume is always one very explicit thing. Mm-hmm. And it's always reducible to that one very explicit thing. And
I'd also say it's really watered down in compared to what this is as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's very monolithic. Like, this blooms outward. There's floral elements. We've already talked about it. Spicy, creamy, sweet notes underneath. This is very huge. But, like, when you think about incense in commercial perfume, you're basically just talking about, like, the scent of Comme des Garçons Avignon.
Yeah.
And then that appears a bunch of other places, like Portrait of a Lady. It's in Incense Rose by Killian. Mm-hmm. But it's always that one explicit, distinct note.
Yeah.
And I think when I hit... So you can go back and watch my reaction, I think, to the Sultan Pasha Attars, because that's where I was coming from. I'd smelled incense before. Not necessarily... I haven't smelled this, and I haven't really smelled... I think I've smelled a Shoyedo incense once. But my incense experience is pretty minimal as a Westerner based in America.
Woohoo!
So... when you see me experience those for the first time, my mind is like now lost in this weird orbit over here.
Yeah.
And so I think I totally agree. I wouldn't necessarily blind buy it, even though I would definitely encourage you to blind buy it. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Because, like, the thing is, in the end, it's going to be worth it. In the end, this is, to me, like the peak of perfumery. So you get here, and regardless of how it affects you at first, working with it is going to be, not working with it, enjoying it is going to be, and wearing it is going to be rewarding in that it's going to help you develop your senses better, and it's also going to help you develop an appreciation for perfume better.
Which, weird tangent, with you really developing your nose in perfume, it has helped you in other ways in regards to we are beginning to become coffee snobs. So you can, like, pick more notes out of coffee through, perfecting your nose. Same thing when it comes to wine or whiskeys or some of the other more... teas. Some of the more nuanced notes where people are like, it's got a note of this. And people are like, oh, I like that, but they can't really distinguish it. So the more you practice with your nose, it does have other really cool effects, I guess is what I wanted to say.
Yeah. So, in that respect, I would encourage you, if you're thinking about Sultan Pasha, the price point is so cheap for what you're getting that, like, say you love incense or you love spicy, woodsy fragrances.
This would be a good fit for you. Yeah,
but you're just going to have to acknowledge the fact that if you're coming from a commercial perfume background, there's going to be a delay for you. And it's not that you're going to wear it and you're going to hate it.
It's just going to be weird. It's
going to be a different experience. Yeah. And it's going to be an experience that you're going to come to love. And then in that love, you're going to come to be like, wow, why the hell is everything that I've been wearing and everything that I've been smelling and experiencing so stale and flat and, like, childish?
Do you know what I really wish this was, though? I really wish this was a candle. Because, so, I'm taking a bunch of fun professional tests right now because I like to torture myself. And this would be awesome to smell while studying. Because you're right, because it just kind of help you feel in the moment and just kind of focus. This would make an awesome candle.
What's it? It's an incense, so we can buy the incense.
I mean, true, but but maybe who knows? Maybe the incense isn't as awesome as this. Who knows?
I doubt it could possibly be as awesome as this.
So, but yeah, that's, I guess, kind of what you were, a 10 out of 10 for you?
Yeah, of Sultan Pasha's incense-based perfumes that are currently available, Nankun Kodo is my favorite. Yeah, I would put this as a 10 out of 10. Wearing this is just such a just a great experience when you think about nature and just a love for the outdoors and a love for just kind of the deeper spiritual connection to the earth and to just the physical bodies that we have. I mean, that's this is like a metaphysical essay masterpiece here to me. This might as well be Martin Heidegger's Being in Time right here in a little bottle. So yeah, 10 out of 10 for me.
Okay, so do you have a character that you think would wear this?
I think so, but you go first.
Me?
Yeah, you go first.
Why me?
Because you talked about it first.
Okay, well, I think the first person that came to mind is the main character, whose name I don't remember, from Occultist My Passport.
Nice.
Him. Because, it goes back to, it's classic, but modern, but oriental, kind of all in one. And the other thing is, I don't even remember the name of the movie, but in my undergrad, I had to watch 3 hours of more or less a silent film about monks who lived in the middle of, mountains and didn't speak ever except for, in prayer. But picture moving that monastery to the middle of some mountains in Japan, and that's what their monastery would sound like. And obviously they'd be monks instead, or not Christian monks, but
yeah,
Buddhist monks hanging out wearing orange instead of brown. But yeah, I guess that's kind of what I was going for. You?
No, that's fair. So for me, it was somewhat along the same lines, but it was split down the middle. I would say first and foremost that I think when I'm talking about a deep metaphysical reality that this would stem from, and somebody who can see beyond that reality, I would probably call this the perfume of Heraclitus, who's an ancient pre-Socratic Greek philosopher, who's constant exposition of the idea of logos or logos, however you want to pronounce it, basically puts him as a semi-mystic that seems to see beyond all of the basic constituent elements of reality. But beyond him, I would also say that this would be the smell, and I kind of got the same Buddhist vibe from you when we're talking about meditation and using the philosophically deviant term Oriental that I spoke about, or I thought about the main character from Tsai Ming-Lang's Walker series, which is 3 short films that one of the greatest filmmakers of all time, Tsai Ming-Lang, made.